Hello, everybody. We had some technical problems, but one of our guests, Pascal Strauss, is helping us out. So I hope you all find your way to the broadcasting. So excuses for this technical interruption. Today we are having Pascal Strauss and Dimitri as our guests. They are going to talk today about empowering people and organizations to choose for happiness. Now, for people watching our webinars, they might have seen Pascal and Dimi in the past. They were in previous editions, but they are that special that we want to give them today their own time to share with us what they are working on, what they are experts in, and that is empowerment. So we from the Happiness at Work team, we asked them to join us, really to empower us, really to unleash the full potential in the team, and that's why they are both here. But maybe it's more interesting to hear it from the guys themselves. So maybe, Dimitri, you can start and presenting yourself.
Of course. Well, first of all, thank you, Jim, for having us and introducing us as special. I don't know, it's very special, but for me, it's special to be here and to be able to not only share my story, but also share my energy with all the people present. So thank you for that. Just to introduce myself a little bit, I'm Dimitri, 38 years old, living in Belgium, married, 3 beautiful kids and a beautiful wife, of course, as well. And actually from my background, my first passion I discovered in hospitality at the age of 15, going into the hospitality branch. And it's really still my passion. I love to serve. I love to serve people as well. Later on, it turned more and more into realizing that it's also about learning, about personal development. And then later on, that it's also so important that the environment around you also is, of course, empowering. We had some really nice mentors like Anthony Robbins, like Peggy Dillon, who taught us so much and who actually opened my heart energy to also use these tools as I am today from an entrepreneurial point of view, a game changer point of view, helping wherever I can in organization to turn the vision into reality. So that's what I love doing. I'm still active in hospitality. I run the clubhouse of a tennis club because I love to bring hospitality there as well. It's where we play tennis with the entire family. We're building a community, game changer community all over the world to connect with people who want to bring this energy out as well. And I'm really proud, Jim and Tom, that you guys invited us to be part of the team as well. So thank you for inviting us.
And then maybe, Pascal, you can turn the camera on yourself.
Thanks, Jim. Dimitri, nice to see you again, guys. Hi, guys. I'm Pascal. I'm 48 already, but I think I still have a lot of time to empower the people around this planet. I'm doing training coaching already since more than 25 years. And I've seen a lot around the planet and want to share with others the experiences that I have, and I'm really honored to be part of that team, to bring this kind of vibe, this kind of worldview also into our reality right now, because it's very much needed. So thanks for the invitation, Jim.
Yeah. Both, of course, very welcome in this webinar. Now, what I'm curious for is what brought you both to do this. So, why empowering people? How come you are doing this? And maybe Dimi, you can share your story.
Yeah, of course, I'm happy to. Well, what brought me to share this, as I already said, my background lies in hospitality, and during all those years, I discovered how much joy and gratefulness it brought me to, well, to serve people and to see how happy I can make them. And it got a much bigger meaning throughout the years, which grew out of the hospitality industry to use this energy in general to people. Practically, I got inspired. I got a chance to be at events of Anthony Robbins. I got inspired by a great woman, Peggy Dillon from Sundor Institute, where we followed programs. And that actually inspired me to use these empowerment tools, which we will talk later on as well, to bring that energy more into the world. We have, of course, training and coaching programs, etc. But more in general, when it comes from me, I felt that connecting with also my emotions, aligning, going within to get this power and this energy out also made me happier, made the people around me happier, connecting with them, spreading the love, my wife, my family, my friends, my kids, but also in the organizations where I had the privilege to work in and with. I also noticed that you can have big plans, but if you're connected and you're acting from out of an empowered state, from out of your personal power, that's for me what fulfillment is about. That's for me what real authenticity, integrity is about. And I got the chance in my life to have some wonderful moments where I myself needed to empowered as well by other people. And I feel very privileged to have that. I feel privileged to also live even today, and especially in this period of time, I feel privileged, and I want to share this with the rest of the world, because I feel like if I can have it, everybody should have the possibility to connect to this energy as well.
Mm-hmm. Pascal, maybe your story?
Well, yeah, thanks, Jim. For me, actually, it is a personal experience that was in 2001. Actually, it's already 20. Oh yeah, it's already 20 years ago. Well, man, that brings you back to but that's okay. It's 20 years ago. I had an experience that was actually it was in Romania. I was visiting the grandparents of my girlfriend at that time, and we were sitting in the student area of the town. We're having a cup of coffee, and a little boy came in back for money, and I gave him some small change, and that was of course a big deal for him. But then later on, I was walking. I was having a walk with my girlfriend, and then I was looking into a side street, so a really small one, and I saw the same young boy sniffing glue, and it broke my heart. And he was like 7 years old, 8 years old, something like this. It literally broke my heart, because I thought, well, how hard must the world be for this little boy, this young boy already? How hard must it be that he has to anesthetize himself? And I cried the whole night, and I made a decision at that time that I will make everything what I can do to make this world a place, an environment, a safe environment where this is actually not happening anymore. Of course, that's an audacious, huge goal, but the way how to do that is I'm working every day actually hard on myself to be a role model for this. And as Coach Wooden said, it's simple but not easy. So it's a hard work every day, but this drives me to use the empowerment tools that I also had the chance to learn from all these great teachers and all these scientific backgrounds. We know so much already, but we apply so little, and that's where we come into place, I think.
Okay, nice. The topic today is empowering people and organizations to choose for happiness. Now, Dimi, what will you bring? What does it mean, empowering for you? What does it mean?
Well, actually, I think a really big step is, of course, when it comes to empowering people to choose for happiness. First of all, perhaps explain for me, happiness, the easiest way to tell is about me feeling good about my life, me feeling good about me, about the people around me, about the environment I'm in. And of course, we can have a really interesting further dialogue on happiness, and we will do so in all the many events that we are having, of course. But when it comes to empowering people and organizations, is most of all starts with bringing awareness that when people are taking time, and especially in these moments, we are living such a fast-paced life, not only because around us everything is changing so quickly, but also because we are under so much pressure. It seems like we always have to be going, competing, getting results better and better and better. And especially now, I want to invite people to take a moment and to reflect on their lives, because empowerment is not something me or Pascal or anybody could give to someone else. Empowerment is not something I can train or I can coach. It's not that. The thing I can do is I can connect perhaps from my heart, but I can create situations, moments, one-on-one or in organizations, and we can do that for each other on a daily basis, to just be in the moment and to align and to reflect on being mindful, being heartful, as we like to say as well, and to just realize what really matters to me, what is important to me, what do I need, what do I really want, what do I love. Love, one of the strongest emotions, of course, we can talk about when you think about, well, what am I passionate about? In the things you do, in the connections, in the people, especially in the energy around you. And there we want to bring that awareness more by giving people the chance to go through this process, by giving people the chance to be aware. Am I asking myself the right questions? Am I living in my head, thinking all the time and letting this thing run our world? Because the brain in our Western society is too much in the center. Not saying that it's not good. It's great, the brain. A lot of things to learn from. But as science already proven so much time, the heart energy is so much stronger. And we in this society, we can need, and especially in these times, some moments to be a little bit more mindful, to get some room for the heart energy and to choose. Because the choose in the title is really important. There is a choice. Even in the hardest times, there is a choice. It's not about what you have. It's not about the material. It's not about what you say, what you do. It's also how you feel. And you can choose for happiness more in your life and your organization. So that's what, for us, empowering people and organizations to choose for happiness. That's what it's about. That's what we do, not only in trainings and coachings, but also in the way that we are entrepreneurial, in the way that we support other people and organizations, in the way that I connect to people on a daily basis. It's my passion. It's the way I live. So that's what we want to do, and let this be an invitation as well for people to join and to take the moment to allow.
Yeah. In the meantime, I know you guys a little bit, and you're kind of a team, a kind of a tandem, like we say. So my question is to Pascal. I guess Pascal will go kind of another direction. He agrees with you, but he has personal touches. So Pascal, empowering for you, where are your details to focus on with empowering people?
Well, I think that's it's like I don't know, like 30 years ago when I was 18, or even maybe before that, I had already the feeling, and I know that a lot of people had that at my time. The group of youngsters that were around me at that time, that the world is going into a direction where it's not very healthy. And I have the feeling since 10 years it's accelerating. That's the feeling that I have. And we have to accelerate on the other side. Also, we have to keep the balance, because I think the world is on fire. When I look around, what is happening everywhere, there's a lot which has to be improved. I would call it like this. There's a lot where we have to work on. If we neglect it, if we're not giving it the attention that it needed, then it will be like weed, or going around, and maybe then it will get worse. I think the world is on fire. But what I learned also in the teachings of Peggy Dillon is that fire is not only a destroyer, it's also a creator. Because it creates space. It creates space for something new. This is what you see also in the ancient traditions. Then you see the god Shiva is the god of destruction, but also the god of creation. For example, in the Indian wisdom, So what does that mean actually? So that there will be space, so that we can fill that space. That's how I feel it. But what are we going to fill it? And there I believe, and I strongly believe in, that we have to empower people to go for their talents, because I believe strongly that everybody has a talent, but they have to discover it. Then they have to turn it into a passion. So they have to really invest time and energy in it to really make something out of it. And then they can do something which is beneficial for the community. They have a solution, and even if it's helping somebody to get a solution for something, this is creating a community over competition. And this is what we need right now. And to empower people so that they make the first step in realizing and waking up. I always say, wake up, grow up, show up. To wake up at first, there we need empowerment, so that they find their own way to go for their talents, to turn it into a passion, because we need solutions. We need a lot of solutions. We need a lot of people that are going to help us, that go out of the victim mode into the doing mode, into contributing. And this is where we need it. This is why I think empowering people is very, very important, but also to empower people to choose for happiness, because that's what will make it sustainable and long lasting, in my view.
Yeah. You were, kind of the pillars also to create the movement for happiness at work. Why did you think it was that important to create specific to this topic, happiness at work? What was your drive to join us in our movement, and to be really one of the pillars to help us create that community where Pascal was speaking of? So, Dimi, can you explain why you were that driven to join us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, of course, it speaks for itself. If you hear how we are explaining why we start with empowerment, that, of course, everything you can think about when you talk about the word happiness is also related to the world we've been living in and what we were working on. If we talk about people as talents, growing into their passion, choosing for what they want, being more aware of their vision, and also, helping them, bring them a process and tools to really turn that vision into reality from within, then happiness is, of course, a key word. And if I look back at the organizations we had the privilege to work for and with, then we see that there is still a big step to make. Because, to be honest, happiness, we can all talk about it. People say, I'm happy or I'm not. But to be really honest, there is a lot that we don't know yet. What is it that really makes us happy? What does really matter? And to be then part of an organization which just really has a mission, not to say only this is what happiness is about, but more importantly, to bring that energy to the people and to make a space and hold a space for people to join, to come together and to reflect on an individual basis for themselves. What is happiness about for me? And right there, we want to, of course, empower them in the choice to be aware what is happiness, because there are a lot of things going around that actually don't make us happy. And of course, there is a lot going around, especially on social media and so whatever, what gives the idea of, hey, if you have this, or if you do that, or if you live like this, then you'll be happier. But of course, that's not completely true. And that's where we found that if you go a little bit more into it, if you really take some time, because living a happy life is something everybody finds important. But if you look really at what do we spend time, focus, attention to, then we're not that much involved in really doing the things that really can make us happy. When we then look at the work situation, people are in a working environment, let's say in general, to make it a little bit easier, half of their life that they're awake, they're in a working environment. And for me, I noticed it myself, to be honest. I had a burnout in 2018 and not even saw it coming, keeping all the balls in the air, having a family with 3 children, a house to renovate, a high function as director of the academy and of all companies whatsoever. And at one moment, it was just too much, because I didn't took the time to take care of myself and what made me happy, both on a mental, but also an emotional, and even also on a physical level. So I think that's very important. And that's why we support this mission so much, to also bring that energy to organizations, because people started to organize, to create a better environment for themselves. And now organizations should always, according to me, also live by this purpose to take care of each other. It should be, every organization should be a community first. Of course, there can be a drive to get to some things, but let's make every organization a place where people feel home as well. Let's help people to feel home, make organizations also a place where people feel home. And how I always said it, I want to come back with more energy at the end of my day than I started. I want to be in an environment where I also get energy from other people, because that's what happens. We are all connected and we get this energy. And well, that's why this is a beautiful mission, to also inspire and share this with as many people possible, not only throughout Europe, but throughout the world.
Mm-hmm. Pascal, anything to add?
Well, it's just maybe plain simple. People spend a third of their time at the workplace. So it makes completely sense to focus first on that part. Mm-hmm. It's also which is a lot energy draining, as Dimi said it. It makes complete sense to focus at first and to create this movement where you were talking about, but also to say then, okay, let's focus first on happiness at work, because there we can do a lot. We can do a lot and to create their environment. Just imagine a company where at Friday evening you go to the after work borrel, the after work drink. You go there and your employee tells you, oh, you know what, Jim, I can't wait till it's Monday. Well, that's a kind of environment where I want to work in. So that's how we have to see it and strive for to create these environments, because it can balance so much things out. And if we can do our part in this, then I'm already very grateful for that.
Mm-hmm. Then, of course, I guess a lot of people, then they ask, okay, that's a nice theory and that's a nice purpose and so on, but how do you do it? How do you empower yourself to choose for happiness? So, Dimi, tell me, how do I start choosing for happiness?
How do you start? Well, it's really great that we get some time also to present it here. I think in the basis there are some important things, and it's first of all that you are aware of your vision in life, that you have a clear life vision, that you know, and not a vision as in I want to get there, not as we talk about the company's vision with the goals, etc., but that you know what your strengths are, that you know what you want in your life, and covering the emotional needs, etc., etc., because it starts all from there. And we will bring it a little bit more structured also in an equation we have for that. But that's the first thing. The second step is, of course, to also be really honest. To be really honest also where you are emotionally, to be honest where you are when it comes to being in the moment. A lot of people are really challenged to be in the moment. We either live in the past, that we worry about things we did, or how we perceived them, or how we reflected on them, and really carry on this heavy load of baggage. It's good to learn from what happened, but not to take it along. It's way too heavy. But a lot of people also live in the future, worrying about how will this go? Will I be able to do that? Will people still like me? All that comes down to being insecure, or as we say it, being afraid as well. And that's also what's blocking us. So if we're not honest where we are, it will block us. And it's not about pushing those emotions away, whether it comes from the past or worrying about the future. A lot of us push it away. There is a reason why so many professional therapists are having so much work at the moment, because what is the way to have this energy flowing is to talk about it, to let it out. Not only talk, also move, etc., etc. A lot of tools you can do. But besides really knowing what works for you, what you really want, what really matters, it's also being honest what might be blocking you, and then using that energy to pass these barriers. Of course, there are obstacles, and we need obstacles in life. We need this mental contrasting as well. We need also to see, that's also why we use the empowerment tools like a firewalk, like the glass bed, etc. But actually in this period where we couldn't, of course, physically come together, we're really happy to see that even without these strong tools like the ritual of a firewalk, even then we can work with people on the process of getting clarity, being honest, and then looking what is stopping you, and using the energy using the attraction of this vision to break that barrier. And that's also why we formulated an equation to work on that, why we created some steps to make a little bit clearer on how.
Okay. Maybe Pascal, the equation, Dimitri mentioned it several times. What is it about?
Well, it's it's about, if people ask, okay, how can I empower other people to choose for happiness? Because that's a question we were discussing when we said, okay, well, what can we contribute to the webinar series? And it's simple but not easy. It's being a role model. That's it. We need, when it comes to happiness, more role models and less teachers. People that go out and go by something what they read. Well, that's nice and it can work. But if you're not applying what you read and what the stuff and so on, if you're not happy yourself, and I mean truly happy, if you're not working on it on a daily basis, if you're not a role model in it, you will not inspire other people to do the same. It's that easy. And now is the question, how do you become a role model? And that's the equation what we talk about.
Okay.
And that's the way how you can work on yourself, because it's nice to put it into an equation, because we learned that in school in mathematics. There's one side of the equation, there's the other side of the equation. And so if you want to have one result, one part of the equation, well, then look on the other side, then you know what factors you have to have taken count. And we have translated the teachings that we got so far from the people Dimitri mentioned. We translated that into an equation, and the equation is actually very, again, simple. It is intention, focus, and energy is result. But you have to apply your view on happiness and being a role model on all three factors. If you miss out one, then it's already not working anymore. You have to really align all the three into the same direction when it comes to happiness. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to intention, and maybe I know that we have the picture, maybe when we can share the picture. When it comes to getting a certain result, it's important to have the three factors: focus, intention, and energy. And they have to be aligned in the direction of happiness. They have to be aligned when it comes to happiness. When it comes to intention, well, intention, you can call it also the intent, you can call it intuition. Intense is all the same, to be in attention, when it is about this. When it comes about impact, is also a word that is nowadays very often used. What is the impact that I will have? It's more or less all the same thing. What do I wish in the future to happen? What do I wish in the future? That's the tension that your brain is creating. You have your vision and you have your reality, and your purpose, and then your brain is going to say, okay, I want that. And then it's making the brainstorm, and then you're going to look for ways how to do that, and you're going to align on it. When it comes to focus, and when it comes to focusing on happiness, there it's very important to learn, and really that's one of the hardest lessons, to learn on to focus on what happens now. That's very important. So all the meditation exercises, all the yoga exercises, all the stillness, the mindfulness are very important exercises, but it's only 1/3 of the equation. But it's very important, because your frontal lobe, your brain, which is actually very good for us, brought us all to the stuff that we built on this planet, but it makes also a lot of trouble by imagining what all could go wrong. And then the fear comes into the part, and then you don't want to do it anymore. So learning how to focus on the now means also to learn to focus on the things that you can influence, that you can do, on your strengths, instead of focusing on what you can't do. That's the focus part. So to learn how to focus on these things and to focus on the moment, not on tomorrow, and especially not on yesterday, because there the third part comes in, energy. When it comes on energy, to work on your physical energy is very important, of course. Yeah, your body, mind, spirit. The three parts where the energy has to be aligned. Your physical energy, so to eat right, to sleep right, to drink, have the right drinking patterns, to have the stress, how to cope with stress, all the stuff that we talk about, that's very important. But also when it comes to your mind, and what does that mean for you? I give you an example. To already choose from your past what still serves you, and what you're going to take with you into the moment and to the future, and what to leave behind. That's a very, very heavy exercise, but it's very important, because if you take everything from your past with you, you will relive it, and you will have these repetitive behaviors, and so on and so on and so on. And people will then say, when you do that, well, why should I listen to you with your happiness? You cannot, I do now a stupid example, you cannot quit smoking yourself. So why should I listen to you? This is how the world really works. So intention and focus and energy to be a role model yourself. The hardest part is that this is not a theoretical thing. We have to experience these things. This is why we use the empowerment tools that Dimi said. You have to experience it physically, because all the stuff that we learned from a young age until, okay, we're now a little older already, but it's already imprinted in our body, in our unconscious mind. So these are patterns. If we're not making a physical experience with this, then the learning will be not so effective. So we have to make experiences. This is why we use the empowerment tools to really to show the people, hey, this is where you're afraid of. This is really something that challenges you, getting out of the comfort zone, but still people can do it. And that's then the first part of empowerment. And the last part, of course, is when you do all the stuff as being persistent. So having discipline, doing it on a daily basis. Yeah. Listening to the wisdom, what is already there. We didn't invent these things. That's all wisdom that's already there since thousands of years. It's just translated in different, they have different ways of explaining it. We explain it now a little different. Maybe in 100 years, they're going to explain it again differently. And then you have to learn to surrender, and also to learn to allow and to receive. And that's a whole package when it comes to be a role model. But I can promise you, when you're going to radiate this energy, that's when people are going to connect, and they're going to say, when you can do it, I will do my best to do it also. And this is how you can bring it to people. This is how you can bring it to teams. This is how you can bring it to organizations. But it's not with a theoretical approach that you're going to do this. So you have to radiate yourself. This is why our equation is so important, to live it and to experience it.
And you are the Einstein of the equation?
No. It's the same here. That's just our way of explaining it. You find it even Stephen Covey, or was it Stephen Covey or his son? I don't remember. The 5 steps of I think of excellence. There he has also 3 parts, and for him it is. Wait a minute. It's decision, attention, and energy, which is the same 3 parts. Decision is it's intention. It's making a decision what you want to have. It's attention. Attention is the same as focus. Where attention goes, where focus goes. It's all the same words. And energy. He uses the same 3 things. So it's not that we invented it. It's our way of expressing it, and we put it into an experiential program.
Yeah.
You also find it in nature, and we are built that way. It's always 3 forces. I don't want to blame somebody, but I learned a little bit of philosophy at university, and Descartes said, "Je pense donc je suis." I think, therefore I am. And if you go back in history, and I'm not a history major or whatsoever, but at a certain point, the brain became the center of our Western world. And actually, we ourselves also have 3 energies. But as Pascal said so well, we are conditioned. We have patterns through our education, through our upbringing, and we learn to work from the brain. If I see now, I have 3 kids, I see it every day. The hardest challenge they have is the brain challenge. They have one-time sports throughout the week, moving, and our body is so important, because beside the brain, we also have our heart, who is very strong. A lot of like HeartMath Institute, check it out. You will see how much there is to learn on the science about the heart. And actually there are scientists in the 1860s who already discovered a lot about that, but it went away again. And then we have our intuition, and we all know that. And I know people who are looking now as well, when it comes to your intuition, your gut feeling, we also have that as well. And those things are working quite well. Why do you think you get a stomachache when something happens that is really not okay? You get a stomachache because your gut says, no, this is not okay. The heart energy, when you're in a room, and we all had that moment where we were in a room and we felt like somebody's looking at us, and you looked there, the person was looking at us. That's because the electromagnetic field in the room is making connection. There are always 3 things. So the equation is one way. We also like to call the body, mind, spirit. We can talk about ethos, pathos, logos. It are these equations coming from all over successful people who have helped a lot of other people. Make it what works for you, but be aware that there is more, and that actually, to be really honest, we are just at the beginning of rediscovering what actually is already existing so long.
Mm-hmm. Leading by example, it's really important. Is there then a difference leading by example as an individual or as an organization, Dimi?
Well, of course, an approach and in context that makes a big difference. I think when it comes to leading by example towards persons, the thing, of course, that I share is my own experience with it. I got into empowerment trainings more than 10 years ago, and for me it was like, wow, this brought me such a bigger view of the world and also what is happening for me, and especially in relationships with other people, but also to myself. I remember it was one of the first audiobooks that I had from Anthony Robbins, where he said it's about communication, first with yourself, then with the others. That was something like, no teacher ever said to me that communication is first of all with myself. Never learned that. So that opened, of course, my world. But for me, the first moment, 2018, my burnout, that was for me actually where I really can say there I learned through experience, going that deep into, I thought I'm an empowerment trainer. How is this possible that this does not work for me anymore? And I really have to be honest, before that, of course, I heard about people having a depression, a burnout, whatsoever. I wanted to be empathic, but I couldn't really understand. Having experienced it myself, I understood. And I'm really happy, and Pascal knows that I'm really thankful for him as well, being there for me at that time, supporting me, being just present when I needed to call or whatsoever. Also the people around me, my wife, my brother, who all supported me. But the thing that brought me back was really to work for it on myself, and to not only take care of my body and sleeping and eating well and moving and relaxing as well, but most of all, I needed to take care of my brain because it was overworked as well. I had one exercise. It was from a personal coach because I found help. Don't go through this alone. I wanted to first. It didn't work. I needed help. We are not built to be alone. We are social creatures being connected. And I found a coach, and she said, Dimi, you will have to learn. You will have to buy a share. And I have the share here. Here, that's the share I bought. And I had to buy a chair. And she said, you have to learn to sit in it and count the leaves of the tree outside your window. But people who knew me, Dimi is not somebody sitting in a chair counting leaves. That was my first mindfulness exercise. And I really had to learn that, to get out of my head and then go through my feeling and to resolve some challenges. I had some pretty dark places I went to, from childhood experience to insecurities about where to go to as a father, as a husband, as a man, whatsoever, as we all have. But I learned also that it's about creating new habits and new rituals which don't happen overnight. It's not about judging. It's not about saying this is good, this is bad. Empowerment and personal empowerment, choosing for happiness, is about taking the time to take care of yourself first. It's about being aware what really matters to you. It's about being aware how small things, small steps can make such a big difference. If I would relate to the focus, do you just take a moment in the morning to choose, this will be a good day? Simple things. Take a moment at the beginning of a meeting for yourself. Okay, I'm thankful that I'm here. I'm happy to be with these people. You can choose your energy. You can choose the focus. You can say, I put on these pink glasses to look at the world and look at all the beautiful things. But if you're not choosing that, then something might happen and you might say, wow, what's this here? But you can choose to see the good things. And we all know this feeling. When we buy a new car, we see that car driving around. It can also work when we choose to focus on things. When you choose an intention in the morning with the family, we are dancing in the bathroom, we're setting the intention to enjoy the day and go dancing to life. A lot of people go through life not realizing that life is guiding them. You can choose that intention. And when it comes to energy, we learned, and I learned the hard way, that you can have great dreams, you can have great ambitions to build your career, to build a business, to grow an organization, to have a family, to also the material, immaterial things whatsoever. But we all know, and especially now, I can't make it more, I have to be honest, when you're sick, you will not conquer the world. When you're sick, you will not go on a date. When you're sick, you will not take a reflection session. So take care of your health as well, mentally, physically, because you'll need that energy to go. And instead of focusing on the success, instead of focusing on the destination, just take some moments to enjoy life now, to take the time now. We have such a short on this planet. Why not enjoy it? There are so many bad things. Media is making us believe that the whole world is in war, that the whole world is bad, that everybody's fighting, that everybody's in competition. But when I go out, I have neighbors who like me. Wow, what? When I go out, I have people who want to connect. When I go out with my kids, I see other families walking around. Let's focus on these positive things as well. We don't have to ignore the bad ones, but actually, the only thing I can do is address it. The only thing I can do is be present in as many organizations as possible. I have a stage. For me, I don't mind about businesses. I just want to get out there, share my story, connect with people who do as well. That together we are way much stronger, because alone I'm just alone. But if together we spread this message, and also for the people who are watching this, please spread this message as well, because we all have the power ourselves. We all have the power. We can stand up at any given moment in life and say, from now on, I choose for happiness. We can do so. And by doing so, we also invite other people to do the same. Because if I do, I stand up and I choose for happiness. I choose for what makes me happy. After this moment at 5, I will say goodbye, because I go to my family then. I didn't do that before. I stayed in the office and I didn't see my family. I have 3 kids. I want to see them growing up. Just before I send the message, don't come in the office here because I had a lamp with that's happiness. I wouldn't never ever thought I would do that, because I used to worry, what might other people think if I'm like, you know what? Let them think. That's their energy. Me, it makes me happy. And that's actually what empowerment is about. Please choose for happiness yourself and share it with the world. Share what are you doing, how are you experiencing it, and also if people are now thinking, well, yeah, that's easy to say, you have nice things and blah 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 and blah blah blah. I'm not saying it's always so fantastic, but also sharing when it hurts. Sharing when it hurts. I was building a business in the event and hospitality industry. Everything turned away. I can say this positive now, but I also was really in a dip before. I have to be honest. In November, December, you wouldn't have gotten me in front of the screen. I had needed some time as well, so it's okay. Happiness is not always living at the high. It's being honest on every moment. When there is a low, make it your own. Make it your own, because it is your own. It is your life now at this moment. And if we all do this together, if we all step up, if we share it more, if we share this passion, this love, and connect more and more with each other and spread this light, well, you will see what happens, because more than ever we need it. There is a whole generation of youngsters, 18 to 28-year-olds, youngsters who are now, you remember, Jim, when you were 17, 16, 18, you remember that? You went out and you had your first relationships in love, etc., etc. Of course, for everybody, the situation is not good, but for those people, they are discovering their identity. They are discovering who they are, and especially to all the leaders here, please let us create spaces. These people will come out of their studies, they will come out of school, and they will look for a place where they feel secure. They will look for a place where they feel it's like home. So why work on happiness at work, and why everybody can contribute to this is because this new generation, but all the generations, we have to take responsibility to take care of them as well. And I believe, especially now, when there's never been such a big challenge when it comes to mental health, when it comes to health in general, I believe we have the privilege and the right to enjoy this, but we also have the duty to do something with it. That's what, for me, personal empowerment is about.
Mm-hmm. I guess the people watching will have kind of felt your energy. No, in the meantime, some people went into the chat box, and then there is a remark of Alexander, and I guess that's a nice remark fitting Pascal well. Alexander is stating an action is more important than 1,000 words. So for empowering, how important is that action? And for sure in organizations.
Well, if I can jump in here, you know, I'm talking to a lot of organizations where I'm working with, and they will always look first what you do yourself. So that's very important. So the question is to the audience, of course, what are you doing to create happiness? And again, not only you being a role model, that was looking out yourself, that you radiate this, but what are you actually doing? What are you actually doing? And you can do so much. Oh yeah, COVID, wait a minute, this is not possible, this is not possible. I can tell you, and you know that, Jim, that we have so many initiatives that came out of this COVID situations. It's really incredible what people want to do for ourselves. We have for this year, we do educational projects now in Africa, where we have 1,000 participants this year. It's really incredible if if you look for the solutions, if you have this mindset. And that's also what every organization is actually looking for. Every CEO that I'm talking to is, well, I want to have people that look for solutions. I want to have people that treat the company as their own company. I want to have a culture where people strive for, and I completely understand. But then the question is, how do you create this culture? Well, create a culture you cannot put top down. That's not possible. We all know that. Some of them try to do it. It's not working. But what you can do is, again, work on three parts of it, which is based on the integral theory of Ken Wilber. I think he is the I say that the philosopher that is most translated on the planet, still living on this planet, with his integral theory. So when you want to influence a culture, you have to work first on the mindset of people, and then you have to help them to give them advice and tip and tools and tricks when it comes to their own personal behavior. So how to apply the things. And when you have done these two steps, then you can work on structures and processes that support it. And then you will create a culture. And this is the way how you have to do that. And to start with the growth mindset, that's already a funny thing, because we have to relearn how to have a growth mindset. Everybody of us, we are born with the growth mindset from Carol Dweck, from the mindset, from the book, The Growth Mindset, Fixed Mindset. Well, we are born with the growth mindset, but we unlearn it during being around people that tell you the whole time, no, don't do that, don't do this, that's not your talent, that's not what you are. And we believe it because we're still young people, so the neurons in your brain are going to connect like this. We have then to unlearn it again, to create this growth mindset. This will also help us to create this happiness around us, this happiness environment. Because when we're looking for solutions, when it's not about competition, when it's about community, because when everybody in the organization is going to say, hey, we need a culture. A culture is transported by a community. This is how it is. And the community has to be not in competition. So when you have a climate of competition in your company, then you cannot expect that there will be an environment where people can thrive, where people can work on their personal happiness. And you need happiness. Happiness is our psychological immune system. This is how we stay sane on the long run. This is why we need that. We need this happiness to work for it, to strive for it. We need faith. We need belief. We need the faith in the good of the people. We need that. That's making us psychologically immune. And this is where a CEO or a company is responsible for creating this environment. And they will get that out. Of course, you can also argue with numbers. People that are more happy, they will get less sick, and so on. In some environment, you need these arguments. But actually, it is the most important part is where you convince the people to create a culture on the long run, where people look for solutions instead of problems, where they're going to contribute instead of doing nothing. Where they are going to do something instead of doing nothing, where they're going to learn instead of sit there with crossed arms. And we know all that because we have been there. Also, we experienced it ourselves, and we're all responsible for it. But the first part will always start with the individual, and this is the shout out to everybody to be the role model themselves and to show the people that it can be different. We can do it. We're better than where we come from.
Mm-hmm. Nice to hear. It's really amazing what you both guys set in the world, what you are doing, what you are trying to create around you. Now, for the people watching, do you have ideas of events, of workshop, whatever, which might help these guys to try it? Did you think about that already?
Should I go first, Dimi? Okay.
You go, Pascal.
The first thing is you don't need a big workshop for these kind of things. You can do exercises on a daily basis, not only meditation, working out, and so on. A huge factor for myself, what makes me happy, is gratitude, and we all know that gratitude reciprocates. Gratitude is good for our body, is good for our longevity, because we're going to, it influences the chromosomes and so on. There's a whole science behind this, Dr. Bruce Lipton, and so on and so on. But the immediate effect is that it makes you smile, or it makes you feel these positive emotions. So I did myself an exercise 2 days ago, and I want just to share it because it had a huge impact on myself. So I was reflecting on one person that was the most influential person in my life so far. And I was reflecting on that person. I was really imagining that person in front of me, and I was writing down what that person means to me. I was writing it down. And then I got the task from the person that did the exercise with me to call that person and to read the text that I just wrote. That was one of the best experiences that I had when it comes to gratitude. I was feeling the whole day. It was amazing what it did with me. So to experience gratitude, to also express it and so on, that's on a daily basis what you can do. And of course, also to realize that we're actually that you have to think of. I got a call also 3 days ago, actually, from somebody in the Netherlands that works also a lot with these kind of things. And he said, well, I read a book, and I have a quote that says, freedom is actually to realize that you cannot do anything alone. That took a lot of weight from my shoulders, and it made me really happy. So to experience that in a moment is really fantastic. That's my my answer to this.
Yeah, I think yeah, Dimi, I think we have still, let's say we started a little later. I think we have still 5 minutes. So maybe round it, if you have events in mind for the coming weeks that might or the coming months, depending on COVID, that might help the people. Just invite people.
Absolutely. Just to add a little bit, because this gratitude exercise really do it. It helps a lot, and also for the person receiving it, it's great, because the call of Pascal was wow. Of course, there are some events coming up, and thank you, Jim, also for creating this possibility, because for everybody, this is the perfect week to take a little bit extra time around happiness and to choose for happiness. Because, for instance, coming Saturday is the International Day of Happiness, and for of course people who are already joined the conference and the webinars. But then also for the new people within our team, we also have Asha Lalai, who is not only founder of Action for Happiness in the Netherlands, not only the inspirer of Thank You Caretakers. She has done so many things, but she's also the founder of A Million Dreams. And Asha is organizing with a lot of friends, and we are very happy to see us as friends as Asha as well, to really celebrate 24 hours of happiness around the globe coming Saturday. It's on Clubhouse. We will share the information with you. We already shared some in the latest newsletter, but we have actually starting at 9 a.m. Central European Time coming Saturday, going on to 9 a.m. Central European Time on Sunday morning. We have every half an hour, we have a keynote sharing his or her insights on a happiness-related topic. So the entire way through on Clubhouse, we will be there. Personally, I will safeguard my energy and not keep up to 24 hours. I think Asha will, but we will be there to give energy. Jim as well is also one of the speakers, one of the keynotes, Pascal, myself, so many other beautiful people. So that's an invitation, of course. And besides that, we are very grateful. I myself got the invitation from Jim, who connected to me via Pascal, to be part of this beautiful organization, because as you already heard, we have a lot of tools, but I know a lot of you have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, a lot of energy to share as well. The reason that I participate in this organization was because if we all come together, the conference December, join the movement, build the academy together to share this more and more, because together we can achieve so much more. And therefore as well, we are looking together with Jim, Tom, Asha, the organization, to organize one of our empowerment events throughout the summer. Our apologies that we can't plan it yet, because it's still looking a little bit what's the best moment, but we will keep you informed with a newsletter, and you will be invited to be part. And we are really ready to make it a beautiful momentum to share with you some of our experiences, but most importantly, to give you the possibility to experience it yourself. So this is what we will do, and we will keep you posted on when we will do so. But in the meanwhile, please do things. Please, if somewhere, something we said throughout the hour, if you really think what those guys are saying, also okay, great, thank you. Also, but if you somewhere heard something where you said, well, actually, act on it. Do something, call that person, go to the organizations or organization you are working in and for, and just start by doing something. If we all together move in the same direction, you will see what will happen. And we are here for you. Just reach out if you need help, if you need support, if you need empowerment, if you want to be part of the community. Please, let's build the community together. It's not, oh, I wait for an invitation. No, please join. Please let us all connect and make this happen, because I'm sure if we can move from this heart energy, we will create a world where we all feel a little bit happier, a little bit more at home, where we all feel a little bit better. So thank you all for watching to us. Thank you, Jim, for this great opportunity. And we love to see you again, not only next webinar, but in all the future events. And please reach out if you need us. We are here to help. So thank you.
And to end, I, of course, want to thank both of you to be here today in this webinar, to share all your knowledge and your energy, mainly. And I want to thank you, both of you, and also Asha, for really empowering the Happiness at Work team in the meantime, even while COVID is trying to block us not to go further. We keep going, and you are both, and Asha also, one of the really drivers to get us to that movement, to get us to happiness, and especially happiness at work. So guys, thank you very much to being part of the team. That makes me kind of, as the founder of the conference, really, really happy and grateful. So thank you guys, and see you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye.